everybody. Hey. This is HQ at HQ Reacts. Ooh, what the heck is going on? Hold on. I apologize for that. Somebody set an alarm off. Well, this was an interesting conversation that Tracey Ellis Ross. You welcome, Cellulite. They got an alarm going off in here. Like they act like they don't know how to cook certain things. But anyway, this show was regarding. You welcome, Cellulite Podcast. This was regarding the Tracey Ellis Ross interview, right? And then we had people's perspective, everybody's perspective about what she said and how she said it, right? And people just don't understand. Sometimes if you're not one of the people who uh, uh, have chosen career over family, chosen career over a lot of things, you really don't understand the depths of, sometimes the despair and the loneliness uh, that people go through making those choices. And Tracey is coming to that realization that maybe she has regret about what she chose and how she chose it. She's lived a fulfilling life, according to her. How does an older woman feel when she has a career, but she doesn't have children, or she doesn't have a husband, or she wasn't chosen to be married, right? I mean, that's a deep and personal question that people have to ask themselves. The way an older woman feels after choosing a career over family really depends on her personal values and her experiences, right? And what kind of life she wanted for herself, or thought she wanted, I guess, versus how things turned out. I pause in the middle of this because people keep talking to me about what and when and how, right? I mean, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of situations she finds herself in. Does she feel fulfilled and empowered because she did what she wanted to do, how she wanted to do it? See, a lot of people on this planet think that because you're a woman, that your whole goal, your whole purpose on this planet is to be married, and that's just not the case. To be married and have children, that's not the case. Not for all of us. Just like it's not for all men to be fathers and be on this planet and be married and be someone's husband. Some of us just don't get that opportunity. Maybe she's one of those people. She's one of the beautiful people, and that tells you something, right? That tells you that not all of us, even though we may have all of the right things, all of the right looks, the right money, the right this, that, and the other, that we can't do certain things, and we're not going to be able to do certain things. Maybe she felt fulfilled and empowered when she decided she was going to concentrate on her career. There might be a deep satisfaction. According to her, she has a deep satisfaction for what she did. She pursued her passions. She made an impact on that particular side of her life. She made an impact. She built something meaningful. She has a business, a career, a legacy about her work. She's very proud of what she's done. I mean, there's always a sense of autonomy and self definition. She ran her own path, did her own thing, made no mistakes. But I'm sure she has regrets. All of us have regrets. Every person has regrets, right? Mixed emotions. Even if she's proud of her career, of her acting career, she might still feel a pang of sadness or longing to be a mother, especially if she wanted children or a partner. Many things that she has regrets for, I'm sure. I mean, there's always a thing about what if, wondering about what life or what road was not taken. All of us have those regrets. All of us have those thought processes. What if I would have did this differently? What if I would have did this that better? Some women feel pressure as they get older and age differently and think about what if they would have had a traditional family, life support, a husband, children. Okay. Okay. I'm sure she has regret and loneliness. If the career didn't turn out the way she wanted it and hoped, it wasn't as successful, fulfilling as she thought, she might experience that regret. Maybe that's what she's doing now. Don't know. Loss of connection with children, husband, around holidays, major things. She sees all of her siblings having children, getting married, doing all the things on that side of life that she should have done, would have done, could have done, and didn't do. Sometimes there's a sense of missing out the emotional connection, the emotional legacy of having children, of looking at a human being and knowing that you produce that human being, knowing that that human being is subject to all of your whims, idiosyncrasies, thoughts, wishes, dreams, all within that one particular body of a person. But then they can be defiant and unapologetic, like she seems to be. Some women refuse to let society define their happiness or value based on motherhood and traditional roles, and she seems to be one of those women. She might feel proudly, cantankerous, rebellious, especially if she had to fight against, what society thought she should do instead of achieving her success. But here's my thing, Tara Matela. Some of us don't have regrets, and some people do. Maybe she's one of those people that don't. She's owning that choice, even if it came from sacrifice. She's owning those choices, right? And you can't keep that away from her. You can't keep that away from her. You can't take that away from her. Okay? It is what she is. She is what she is. But let me get into that first issue that people had with her. Okay? Let me pull that up and see what she says.
Yes, that was
Okay.
right.
All right.
More open than it should be, but I do date, and it's a fascinating adventure out there. Mostly though, I think there's really good men out there. I think to a certain extent, I'm a very unique sort of unicorn of a woman, and so it's gonna take a unique person. And in the meantime, I have really learned how to live my life and enjoy it and not sit around waiting. I was saying to someone recently that I'm one of the first generations of choice, and it's not anymore, which really, there was a window and that has shifted. And I do think that that's going to change dating for women so much.
When you mean you've been the product of choice.
Yeah, like the assumption of Roe v. Wade and the ability for a woman to find her own delight and pleasure and choice around how she navigates dating or how one would navigate dating. And we're in a different world now.
Right.
And
a lot of people had a problem with her dating younger men, having that choice. Okay? It's her choice. I'm one of those people that believe if you have all of these choices on this planet, it's so many, it's so varied that she can find whatever she wants to find. Although it may be too late, for her to have children, it may be too late for her to do that. She can always adopt. She could have done that. She didn't want to be out there without a life partner. She wanted to be in a relationship before she brought children into this planet. I didn't see too much that was wrong with that particular thing. She wanted to be a partner to someone. Someone just didn't want to be a partner to her, right? And that's a sad thing to say. I mean, it's a sad thing to say. I feel bad for her because she didn't do what she needed to do. Or maybe she did, but nobody wanted to marry her. I didn't get it. Was it worth it? Was it worth it for her to go down this career path and not find the man that she wanted to find? Was it worth it to her? Who knows? She says she dates. You date younger men? Why does she date younger men?
You know?
Well, and they haven't been asked to, because I think it's not always a context that if it's an area that you don't have to think into,
right?
But I think there is it is a genuine regular thought process for me. It's one of the reasons, I mean, we've talked about this, that often I date younger men. And a lot of it is because...
Let's stop on that, folks.
Oh my God, we had a great dinner. We had a great dinner, by the way, where across the table, your husband goes, "But why?" And I said, "Well, maybe because I can."
Yes, Harish. This is what I'm saying. Tales from Tracey's.
It's fun. It's really fun to share.
Tracy tale.
But
you dated younger
I'm sorry. But one of the reasons, though, that because I had to ask myself that question, I was like, "What is this about?"
Yeah.
Because I want a partner, and so often, and it's not just that I'm older. I'm also very embodied. I am a full, very whole person who knows myself, who is in charge of my life, and who lives a very full, just robust life. So it's not just age, it's like life experience and sort of a difference. But I had to ask myself the question, why? Why does this keep sort of coming up other than they're hot and gorgeous?
There's that.
There's that. But a lot of men my age are steeped in a toxic masculinity and have been raised in a culture where there is a particular way that a relationship looks. And anything that starts to smell of that for me, I did enough of it where I was controlled and felt like I was a possession or whatever those things were, or prize and I have no interest in it, and I will not do it again.
I'm sorry.
No,
Craig.
I was going to say, so it's a generational thing. So it didn't matter how you met them, or is it just kind of the guys you're meeting?
That's obviously
too big of a generalization.
It's a generalization, but because I have dated men my age, there is a difference. There is an openness that occurs with a younger man around whether it's gender fluidity or not even having an issue with homosexuality. I mean, something as basic as that. That there's times where I'll be sitting across the table from somebody and just like, what did you just say?
Yeah, what century are you?
Like, oh my God.
Where's your horse and buggy?
Yeah, like, I'm so sorry.
And your bedpan.
Yeah, for real.
Chamber pot.
Yeah, your chamber pot. Your chamber pot. Like, where I'm just like, yeah, this is not a match. And I have long been past the age where I feel like it's my job to teach somebody or grow them up.
Yeah.
That I'm not interested in. So, but it's interesting. I mean, there's so many different philosophies on dating, and I have come up with mine. I have come up with what works for me. And
wow. Here's the thing. What she said has been what most women our age has been running into. And this is something that you can't relate to unless you're our age. We have men who are steeped in men, young and old, misogyny, or steeped in tradition where the world has went past them. And this is what she's saying. I can't relate to you because you refuse to drag yourself into 21st century, 23rd century, 22nd. I keep forgetting what that is. You refuse to drag yourself into it, but I'm not going to sit back there with you. So therefore she dates younger, because younger is more in tune with the world, more up to date with their thought processes, more open to dating older people. And see, I've heard this a couple times. I've heard this over the internet. She's insufferable. How is she insufferable? That makes no sense. That makes no sense. She's not insufferable. She just sees herself as a little bit more fulfilling than just being a mother and a wife. And men our age seem to think we're supposed to go into the kitchen and cook and clean, and that's all we're supposed to do. And that doesn't work for us women. That doesn't work for modern day women. I don't even know why we would have a conversation with the women of this day regarding moving into the 21st century. She can be self-centered and obsessed. She doesn't have any children. She doesn't have a husband. She can do that. Nobody says anything about younger men or younger women thinking of themselves. So don't try to shame her because she thinks the same way that someone who's single thinks. She's thinking like a single person. Okay? She's thinking like a single person. And that's her right. If you're single, you can think like that. Okay? She has regrets. We get it. She has regrets. Every person on this planet has regrets. Nobody does exactly what they want to do, how they want to do it forever. She has those regrets. But if you think that a person is on the planet just to have children, just to be married and all of that, then that's your issue. That's your issue. That's not her issue. She understands the choice that she has made, and she's happy with that choice. She made the choice to be a career. She made the choice not to get pregnant by a person she wasn't married to. Nobody married her, so she never had an opportunity to have children. That's just it. She was open and upfront to do that, but she never got an opportunity because no one wanted to marry her. It was what it was. No one wanted to marry you. And her line was, she's not having a baby by someone that doesn't want to marry her. She did the right thing. This is what people say they want people to do. People say this is what they want unmarried people to do. Get married when someone marries you. Have children when someone marries you. Okay? That's what she did. We don't know that. You could be insufferable too, and we would know. Okay? And Kendra could be insufferable, and we would know. I could be insufferable, and we wouldn't know. There's a lot of things you don't know. All of the women that are out here that are single doesn't mean that they're insufferable. That's the problem. That's the problem we have. Okay? That's the problem that she's having. Okay? She represents a big part of women who are this age. So that's not a discussion. I understand what she means. There's no way that I would get into a relationship and then someone tells me I got to cook, clean, and do this third, and we're in our 50s and we're in our 60s. This is a different dynamic. This is not the 30-year dynamic. This is not the 40-year dynamic. This is the 60-year dynamic we're looking at with her 50s and 60s. There's certain things and expectations that should be there when you're in this age range. When you're in this age range, the men should be stable. They should have had a career. They should have money in the bank. They should be able to do all of these things by themselves. And a woman coming into that relationship, there shouldn't be a whole host of expectations. We're not having children. We're not doing this. We're not doing that. We have all of our things settled. The only thing that you're going into a relationship at this age for is to have sex, be a companion to another person, be able to talk to another person. Okay? My whole point is she can't find that because men her age think like cavemen, according to her. Okay? Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. She can ask for what she wants to ask for. Every person on this planet can ask for whatever they want to ask for. She asked for what she wanted and she got it. Okay? Many older women know exactly what they want. They know exactly what they want and what they won't tolerate. Like younger women may tolerate things, older women are not going to tolerate things like that. Right? They've usually gone through some life experiences. She's gone through a lot. She's dated playboys. She's dated actors, actresses, long-term relationships, breakups. She's done all of that. And this is how we sharpen and understand ourselves as adults as we get older. So she's dating intentionally, self-assuredly. Like she says, she's a whole person. I'm a whole person. Because I know myself. You know yourself. You don't want to waste the game, waste time. Okay? You know what you bring to the table. Okay? We require women like her, women like me, desire a connection without the drama that goes along with that. We shouldn't be asking for people to have emotional stability, mature conversations. We're done with the excitement and the chaotic passion and that kind of thing. Okay? We seek companionship, romance, fun. This is what she wants. This is how she wants to do it. But with honesty, with respect. Okay? All that drama that goes along with young people, she's not looking for that. And she has mixed feelings about dating. We feel hopeful. We feel excited. But we can feel delusioned because we run into men our age who don't seem to understand the years have gone by. We don't clearly think we're supposed to be back in the kitchen slaving over a stove. That's not how that goes. Her specifically, because she makes money. Why would you even think that I would be slaving over a kitchen, mopping a floor, and I have make this kind of money? Like she said, it's tough out there, especially with the dating apps. She don't want to get on dating apps with people thinking you're too old. You shouldn't be out there trying to have sex. That's the goofy shit we run into. Okay? And there's fewer and fewer compatible partners out there. This is how she thinks. And the whole point of the sexual slavery or the sexual revolution, some of them may be out there rediscovering their passion, rediscovering the sex on their terms. That's why she's dating younger men. There's more openness and less shame. I don't feel shame about nothing. I can have 40 partners. I can have 20 partners. I don't give a damn what nobody think. That's not how the world works. When you get older, you don't concern yourself about this body count garbage. This body count garbage. And when we meet a man who's our age and he's talking about body counts, no way. It's a no-go. All the way to the side of the trash heap. All the way to the side of the trash heap. Okay? Ain't no way you're going to shame me about my choices. Okay? As an older adult. Okay? No. No, man, just because a man wants a wife doesn't mean it's misogynistic. His thought process is misogynistic. A lot of men don't have respect for women. A lot of men think women should be in the kitchen, barefoot and pregnant. A lot of men think that way. That's what she's saying. This is what Tracey Ellis is saying. A lot of men her age think that way. That's not what younger women or modern day women want from a husband. This is what she's saying. Don't try to drag me into the caveman. Don't try to drag me into the kitchen. That's not how that's not how the world works with women this age. Okay. And that's why she's single right there, pinky brain. And that's why she's single, because she's not dealing with that. Okay. Baggage too. People often come with kids, exes, health issues, all of that good stuff. Right? She's not worrying about any of those things. Well, here's the thing. When you get into a relationship and you meet her how she is, this is how you take her. Stop trying to change another human being. When men stop trying to change other human beings, there'll be more productive relationships and more productive marriages. Okay? When you stop asking her to change and you don't change. Okay? So she has regret. Okay? This is her talking about regretting that she didn't have children. Okay? Let's let her go.
Dreaming of my life. And you know, as much as grief does surface for me around not having children and not having a partner, I still wouldn't want the wrong partner.
That's a great point for people to hear.
I'm not interested in that. You have to make my life better. It can't just be, you know, I'm in a relationship to be in a relationship. So even though the grief does emerge and that comes and I hold that, I think of what I've done, and I think of, I woke up every morning trying to do my best. I didn't wake up one morning and be like, I'm going to mess this day up.
That's right.
So I must be where I'm supposed to be. And I don't.
She didn't wake up saying she was going to mess up her life. That's the key. People seem to think she made the wrong choice. She didn't make the wrong choice. She made the right choice for her. Okay? She made the right choice for her. She was a Hollywood actress, a model. She made that decision. It was a conscious decision. She said, I'm not having a child unless you marry me. And no one wanted to marry her, or she didn't want to marry anybody. And so she didn't get pregnant, and nobody got her pregnant. Nothing wrong with that. But that's a choice, a conscious choice that she made not to pursue that side of her life that maybe she could have been fulfilling in. She didn't want to deal with a man that was less than what she was. She didn't want to deal with a dude that was cheating on her, because somehow, some way, black men are trying to make black women accept that cheating is the norm. Fuck you mean. So she didn't want to deal with that. She wanted to be a whole embodied woman. Okay. She's okay. She has regret. She has regret. She wished she would have had children. As you said, she said she has to hold that. She has to feel that. Okay. She has to feel, she has to live with the fact that she didn't have children. But she didn't want to have a man's baby and he didn't marry her. So she wasn't going to do that. And that's the right choice to make. If he's not going to marry you, don't have the child. She did the right thing. Okay. And I can't hold that against her. This is what she said. You can't hold that against her.
No, sometimes I think of all of the things I've done, the courage that I've had to have, and what I've had to learn how to navigate as a single person with no one to hide behind. Yeah. And it's built a really beautiful experience around me. And I have incredible friends.
You do.
Well, this is a good segue to get to our question.
Okay. So she don't have any regret in that regard. She just has regret that she never found anybody to marry her. That's the whole point. She got to keep this L. She got to hold that L. It's not necessarily an L, right? Not having children is not an L. It's just a choice. And she has a choice. She had a choice. Okay. But I can't be mad at her. This is the choice that most people have. She had the same choices as everybody else. Okay. She just wasn't going to settle. And I'm not mad at her for not settling. She's a strong, independent woman who knows what she wants. Okay? And this is a lot of people, a lot of women. I'm saying, know what you want. She's saying a lot of you don't know what you want. A lot of you just settle for whatever, right? That's what she's saying. I wasn't going to settle for anything. Don't be mad at her that she made these choices. She made the choice to do what she needed to do for herself, okay? And then people say, oh, I feel sorry for Tracey. Don't feel sorry for her. She knows what she did and what she didn't do, okay? She knows what she did and what she didn't do. Let's listen. She made her choice.
Men and women, to take into account who they are and what is important to you. You know, is somebody's height the most important thing to you? And why?
Why?
Is it because of what other people see, or is it because of you? You know what I mean? Like, what is it? And I think those reflective questions not only help you in dating, they just help you in life.
So let's help Ron. What are some of these questions he should be asking himself?
Well, you know, just like in developing your life, when I talk to young people, it's like, who do you want to be? What do you care about? And not what do you want to do, not what title you want to have, but how do you want to show up in the world? What's important to you?
Right.
Is it kindness? Is it empathy?
Is it money?
Is it money? Yeah, for some people it is. For some people it's security, financial security. Some it's emotional security.
Is it important for honesty?
Yeah. For me, for example, like I knew that, you know, you date enough people, you date people that just cheat. Right. And one thing I learned, luckily I learned it soon. I realized that cheating, if I was dating a cheater, that had nothing to do with me, you know, because like I am not inherently a cheater or a liar. I mean, I would rather just look somebody in the face and say, we should break up because I'm thinking about dating somebody else. And I'm not going to hold you hostage while I go experience stuff. So I had to pick somebody who had the same values about that as I do, right? I didn't want to be married or date somebody that I have to worry about who you texting, what's on your phone, where did you go.
That trust is not an anchor.
That trust is not there. And because it was important to them, not because it was important to me.
That they were the same.
That they had the same quality. You know, that was way more important to me than what career, what, you know, because I had dated people who were broken, in my opinion, broken in that way.
That's an interesting segue, right? And people say, what makes her strong? Because she made choices regardless of how they affected her, how they would have impacted her in a different way. When you make a choice is something that you stand by, you get, and you deal with all of the consequences. You look at all of the avenues, the other choices that would be on the table, and you make that particular choice. And you stand on that choice and you embody that choice and you fulfill that whole choice that you make. She decided to be an actress instead of saying, okay, let me chase a husband and see if I can get a husband. That takes a strong person to decide, I'm going to go this route instead of that route. It also takes a modern day woman a different mindset to say, I'm not going to be a wife and I'm not going to be a career person. I'm not going to do my fulfilling thing that fulfills me, the thing that makes me get up in the morning, the thing that makes me live and survive and want to be a better person. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to be a wife and a mother. These are choices that people make. And sometimes these choices are difficult. That's what makes her a strong woman. Okay. I keep forgetting, y'all. I keep forgetting. This is not a roast channel. This is a thoughtful, let's have a conversation type channel. Okay. Please be respectful, because I'll cuss your ass the fuck out if you get on my nerves. Thank you. But this conversation about Tracey Ellis Ross, her making the choices that she made, this is a person that had a lucrative career. No one wanted to marry her. She never wanted to marry someone else. And those choices, there's nothing wrong with those choices. Nothing wrong with those choices. Michelle Obama is a combination of those two. Right alongside with her being married, she had children. She had that particular side relationship. Okay. That's the difference. She decided to do both. Tracey Ellis Ross couldn't do both. Maybe it was her fault, maybe it wasn't. But I can understand her saying, I have a fulfilling life. Of course she has a fulfilling life. Who am I to tell her that she doesn't? It's not up to you to tell her that she doesn't have a fulfilling life. It's not up to anybody to tell her that she doesn't have a fulfilling life. Y'all, please hit the like button. Y'all came in, it's 24. Please hit the like button. Please hit the like button. Okay? Just because she's not saying what you want to hear, just because she's not saying what you want to hear doesn't mean she's wrong. That's the problem with us today. Learn to have difference of opinions. Learn to see different people's sides. Learn to have understand why people made choices that they made. Michelle Obama made the choice to be a career woman, then she got married. Then Tracey Ellis Ross decided she was going to do the career. Who am I to say either one of those things or either one of those choices are wrong? It's not to you, it's not to me to say her choices were wrong. She has to decide whether those choices are wrong. According to her, she has regret, but she would not change the choices that she has made, which means she has had a fulfilling life, a robust life. Okay. When I heard this conversation online, I was like, are you crazy? Are y'all crazy? Everybody got an opinion. You don't know that woman's shoes. You don't know how that woman walked. You don't know what that woman went through. She could have wanted to marry men, and men didn't want to marry her. And it has nothing to do with her being insufferable, because you don't know her personally. So stop saying that. Okay. She says she's happy being single. Of course. I'm happy being single, but I would rather be married. I'd rather be in a relationship, but that don't mean I don't find fulfillment and joy in being single. The two things can be right at the same time. Okay. No, I'm not triggered, Pinky Brain. That makes no sense. I wouldn't be doing this video if I was triggered. Makes no sense. So I'm saying she made those choices and she's living with those choices. Okay. Everybody has choices and they live with those choices. There's choices that if we put a spotlight on your life, there would be choices that you would have changed differently. Stop it. Okay. Not everybody makes the right choice. Not everybody is happy with the choice. She's saying she's happy with the choice. She's saying the men she's dating that are her age are too mentally stuck in the past, mentally stuck in what women used to do in order to be a partner to her, in order to be a fulfilling partner to her. Okay? That's all she's saying. You're not up to snuff when it comes to modern dating. Okay? You're not up to snuff. This is what she's saying. And people get upset. People got upset when they heard her say, I date younger men. Of course she dates younger men. Maybe they're modern day men. Maybe they understand her better. Who knows? Okay? She has to be happy with her choice. She can't go back and change it. That's what I'm saying. So I'm saying we can't say whether she would have been happy doing this, that, and the third. We can't say any of those things. We can only go by what she says. And what she says is this. She has regret that she doesn't have children. She has regret that she couldn't find her a mate. When she did try to find her a mate and she looked at men her age, they were too mentally stuck in the past for her to deal with. Okay? And maybe we don't know her life. We don't know. We only understand what she says. And we have projection. Well, she loves her hookup culture. I would love hookup culture too if I was that particular person. But there's nothing wrong with hookup culture. There's nothing wrong with men do it. Why would it be something wrong with her doing it? Okay. So we don't know. No. Why she's not married is because nobody wanted to marry her. Why she's not married is because she never wanted to marry someone else. Those are the only two reasons why she would not be married. Because this is a beautiful woman, fulfilling woman, all of these things. Nobody wanted to marry her, or she didn't want to marry them. Those are the only two reasons why. She says she regrets it. Didn't you just hear me say? Didn't you just hear me play that part? Okay, you got to read between the lines. She said it. It makes no sense. Listen. She regretted that particular part. She says she regrets these things. Sometimes y'all got to listen.
Dreaming of my life. And you know, as much as grief does surface for me around not having children and not having a partner, I still wouldn't want the wrong partner.
Did you see that? Did you hear that? Tara Matea, didn't you just hear her say the grief of not being married, the grief of not having the right partner, of not having children? Okay.
But I could have spent a lot more time dreaming of my life. And you know, as much as grief does surface for me around not having children and not having a partner.
You hear that? Grief around not having children, grief around not having a partner. Of course she wanted to be married. Of course she wanted to have children. Okay. That's a beautiful woman. She could have had that except two reasons. She didn't want to marry someone, or someone didn't want to marry her. It's the only reason why she never got married. And she refused to have children without having a partner. This is what everybody says they want a woman to do. Now everybody mad that she ain't got no kids. Oh, why you didn't have no kid? Why you didn't do that? She did the right thing. Okay. She did the right thing. And she regrets that that's where she came to. Okay. Right. I'm not. Pinky, you see that subscribe button? Unsubscribe if you don't like the content. Fuck you mean. So my whole point is everybody's blasting off on Tracey Ellis Ross, right? And I'm saying she's revealing her truth. I'm saying she's saying her truth. Okay. I mean, I feel for her. I feel bad for her. She says, this is what she wanted. This is what she chose. And a lot of women have regret. Of course they have regret, because you think society says you should have children. You should have a husband. You should do all of these things, right? But I feel for her, and I understand what she's saying, right? If she says something else that says something else, or she gets married, or she starts dating, hey, I'll talk about her, again. But this is normal for somebody that's her age. We have regret. We wanted to get married. We didn't find a partner. It is what it is, but I don't see the big uproar that people had about her saying men were toxic. Because she's using the word wrong. I don't know, but I understand the context of what she's saying. There's no way she can get involved with a man who doesn't understand a modern day woman, and he thinks that she's supposed to be in front of a stove cooking and cleaning, and she's supposed to be like a woman who was in her 60s instead of the modern day woman that she is. This is why she says she doesn't date men that are this age, who have weird thoughts about marriage. People need to examine what they think about marriage. People need to examine those things. This is what she's saying. But I can't tell anything else about Tracey Ellis Ross. She's just one of the people on this planet that never had children, that never got married. She's one of the beautiful women. She was a beautiful woman. She had a run, but she won't be having children. And I mean, and that's a sad thing. She could adopt, and she's alone. And there's a lot of women that are like that. And there's a lot of men that are like that, right? And I say, get in where you fit in. She is what she is. But I don't hold anything against her. What she said was correct. For her life. What she said is correct for her life. And that's okay. That's okay for her life. And I can't hold nothing against her. Thank y'all for coming for this small thing that I wanted to talk about. Tracey Ellis Ross.